Hello friends, how are you? I hope you all are doing good. So let's continue with our discussion on joint and byproduct. And this is going to be the last lecture, most probably. We'll try to finish it in this lecture, joint and byproduct costing. So we were discussing about the joint products, the various methods of distribution of the joint cost between the joint products. So in that, I told you that we are left with just one last method of distribution, that is the reverse cost method. Now the last method is reverse cost method, right? Now if you will look at the ICAI module for the CA students, if you will look at the ICAI module, in that for the joint product this method is not there. If you will look at the joint products, there is no reverse cost method given in the module. What they have done is they say reverse cost method, it is not there, sir. Whatever the methods we have done till now, those methods are there in the book, right? That physical units method is there, sales value method is there, final sales value method is there, then contribution margin method is there, then average unit cost method is there. So all these methods are there in the ICAI module, right? But there is another method, reverse cost method. This is important, you people must know it, right? Because in the CMA reverse cost method must be there, in the CS also the reverse cost method is there, in other courses this method is there, right? So even the CA students, the CA intermediate students, they must also know what is there in this method, right? This method is not at all difficult. Now if we talk about this reverse cost method, we'll study for both the joint products, right? We'll study this method for joint products and the byproduct. So when I discussed about the byproducts, I told you that this reverse cost method we'll discuss at the end, where we will discuss it for the joint products and the byproducts both, right? So we are going to study this reverse cost method for joint product and byproduct both. We'll be doing the practical problems also, right? What is a joint product, sir? Where more than one products are received from a process and the value or the significance of the products is almost equal. In case of the byproducts, what we have? In case of the byproducts, we have a main product and we have the byproducts B1 and B2. Whereas in case of joint products, we say that all the products have the equal significance. In case of byproduct, the main product has more significance than the B1 and B2, that is by the byproducts, more significance than the byproducts. Clear? Now, how to use this reverse cost method? It is important to understand what we have studied so far, right? What is the methodology that we have been following so far? According to that, we will frame this reverse cost method, okay? Now, so far we have studied that first there is an input, right? And from that input, there is a joint cost, right? Input, there is a joint cost incurred, say 60,000 rupees. Right, this is your split off point. Clear? This is your split off point. From here you get multiple products. Now I am first talking about the joint products, right? So first we will be discussing the reverse cost method for the joint products. Okay, sir. So you are getting the three joint products, say J1, J2 and J3, right? Till now, what we have been doing is we distribute the 60,000 between the various products, right? We start from the top, we start from the input, we consider the joint cost of 60,000 and then we try to distribute the 60,000 between J1, J2, J3 by the various methods, right? Whether it is physical units method or the average unit cost method or contribution margin method or the sales method or the NRV, whichever method, we try to distribute this cost between the three products, right? Let's say you distributed this cost, right? Let's say you distributed this cost, say it is 20,000, 20,000 and 20,000, right? So this is my distributed joint cost. Clear? After that, I say that these products cannot be sold in the market as such. You need to do some further processing on these products, right? So what I will do is I will add the further processing cost in this. Further processing cost, say 1,000, 1,000 and 1,000, right? After that, say there are other cost also, other cost, right? 1000, 1000 and 1000. Other cost can be office and administration overheads, other cost can be selling and distribution overheads, right? So the other cost. So the value that you will get from here, 22,000, 22,000 and 22,000. Now what is this? This is your total cost, right? This is your total cost that you have got. Clear? Now tell me one thing, that will you go to the market and sell the product for 22,000? Will you sell the product here? This is your total cost. First, what we have done is, forget about the reverse cost method. I'm not yet started with the reverse cost method. What I am telling you is whatever we have studied so far. There is a joint cost of 60,000. We distributed the joint cost by the various methods, whether it is NRV or final sales or physical units or contribution, whichever method, right? So after distribution, I get the joint cost 20, 20, 20. I added the further processing cost 1000 in each case and the other cost 1000 in each case, right? So the total cost is 22,000. Now tell me, I'll go to the market and sell it 22,000. Is it fine? If I go to the market and sell the product for 22,000, sir, this is the cost. How can I sell the product at cost only? I want to earn some profit also on that product, isn't it? I want to earn some profit also. Okay, right. After that, I say that I want to earn a profit on this product. Right, say 3,000 each. On every product, I want to earn a profit of 3,000. So that means my selling price, my sales value will be 25,000. 25,000 and 25,000. Clear? Right, so we started from the top. Joint cost 60,000. First distributed the joint cost 2020, added the FPC, added other cost, total cost, plus we add the profit, then we get the sales value. This is what we have studied so far. This is the normal methodology from top to bottom. Now, the reverse cost method. The reverse cost method says that you don't have to go from top to bottom. You have to start from the bottom and move towards the top. That means you need to start from the last step, that is the sales value, right? In the reverse cost method, what will be given to you in the reverse cost method? The sales value of each product, each joint product, whichever the joint product you will be getting, you will have the sales price of that, right? You might be having the sales value as such, or you might be given the number of units sold and the selling price per unit, right? So you can calculate the sales value. So if you talk about the reverse cost method, in that case I can say this becomes your step number 1, right? Start with the sales value. Now if you subtract the profit from the sales value, you will get the cost. Second step is your profit. This is step number 2. Right? What you have to do now, sales value minus profit will give you cost, right? This total cost you will get. This is your step number 3. How you got it? Step number 1 minus step number 2. That is sales value minus profit will give you total cost. Any doubts? Right? Now we are starting from the bottom. The sales value will be given. The profit on the sales will be given to you in the question, right? From there, if you subtract the profit from the sales value, you will get total cost. Right? You will get the total cost. Now, this is your step number 4. Step number 4. Right? Step number 4 means the total cost. The total cost means the total FPC, further processing cost, office and administration cost, and selling and distribution cost, not the joint cost. Right? In step number 4, what I am taking is the total cost other than the distributed joint cost. Right? What I am saying is, right, this total cost has 2 components. If we talk about this total cost has 2 components, right? I'll star mark here and I'll write here, right? So this total cost has 2 components. One is the distributed joint cost. Right? And the other component is other costs. Other costs include the FPC, that is further processing cost, then it can be office and administration, it can be selling and distribution, right? So this total cost has two components. One is the distributed joint cost, that is this 20,000 part, right? And the other cost that will include FPC, office administration overhead, selling and distribution overhead. So these are the other costs included in it. So step 4 is that you have to identify the total further processing cost, office and administration cost, selling and distribution cost, right? This part is your step number 4. Now out of this total cost of 22,000, if you subtract this 2,000, that is step number 4, what you will get? You will get this 20,000, that is the distributed joint cost, right? So this is your step number 5. How you get the step number 5? That is 3 minus 4. Clear? 3 minus 4. I'll remove this. Step number 5 is the distributed joint cost. You will automatically get the distributed joint cost, right? You need not distribute it separately. When you will start with the sales value, when you will start with the reverse cost method, what you will get is you will automatically get the distributed joint cost, that is the share of joint cost in each of the products, right? So these are the steps that you need to remember, that how to proceed. Step number 1, start with the sales value, subtract the profit, you will get total cost. Now total cost has two components. One is the distributed joint cost and the other component is the other cost, right? So you need to identify the other cost first. Subtract the other cost from the total cost, and what is remaining is the distributed joint cost. This was the requirement, right? This is what we all needed to calculate the distributed joint cost. Clear? So this is how the reverse cost method is used in case of the joint products. Very simple. Clear? You just need to remember the steps, that how these steps will proceed. Right? If you want the proper format is given in the books, right? Where I'll take the sales value minus the desired net profit will give you estimated cost of sales. Then minus selling and distribution overheads will give you the estimated cost of production. Minus office and administration overheads will give you estimated work cost. Minus FPC will give you the proportion in which the joint cost is to be apportioned. Right? So let's do a practical problem on this. Let's do a practical problem, question number 6. From a common process, two joint products A and B come out. The expenses after the separation of A and B are 5 and 8 rupees respectively. After separation, right? After split of point, the expenses, that means the further processing cost, total expenses in the common process amount to 1,86,760. So this becomes your joint cost. This is your joint cost, right? Selling prices of A and B are 25 and 38 respectively per unit. The output of A and B are 5,000 and 4,000 respectively. Find out the cost of A and B after completion if the profit on the sales is 12%. Right? So you are given the selling prices, you are given the units, you are given the further processing cost. So you just have to walk from bottom to top, right? So let's try to solve this problem, question number 6. Okay, so let's do it. Question number 6. So what we are going to do is statement showing apportionment of joint cost. Statement showing apportionment of joint cost. So we have two products, right? Product number A and product number B. So the first step is calculate the sales value of product number A and B. Of product A and B, the first thing is that we need to take a sales value. How you can calculate the sales value? See, the selling price is given to you 25 and 38, and the output is given 5,000 and 4,000. So you can easily calculate the sales value, 5,000 multiplied by 25. that will be 1,25,000, right? This is 5,000 multiplied by 25. On the other hand, it will be 4,000 multiplied by 38. This will be 1,52,000, right? Now, from the sales value, what is step number 2? Profit. We need to subtract the profit. So I will say minus profit at the rate 12%. Now the profit says it is 12% on the sales value. So 12% profit you will subtract. It comes out to be 15,000 and 18,240. Clear? From here, what you will get? From here, you will get the total cost. Right? Total cost, or what we call it as cost of production also, or what we call it as works cost also. So all these things are the different names, right? So this comes out to 1,10,000 and 1,33,760. Clear? 1,33,760. After this, from here, what do you need to subtract? You need to subtract the further processing cost minus further processing cost. Now it is given in the question that further processing cost is 5 and 8 per unit respectively. So you will multiply it with 5,000 and 4,000, right? So FPC will be 5,000 multiplied by 5, and on the other hand it will be 4,000 multiplied by 8. So this is 25,000 and this is 32,000, right? So after the FPC, after the subtraction of FPC from the total cost, what you will get? The distributed joint cost, share in the joint cost, right? This is what you get as distributed joint cost. That comes out to be 85,000 and 1,01,760. Now if you sum total it, tell me the sum total. That will be 1,86,760. Now this is equal to your joint cost. Let's see. Yes, sir. It is equal to your joint cost, 1,86,760. Right? I hope it is clear that how to distribute the joint cost between the joint products using the reverse cost method. Right? Very simple, sir. Very simple. I hope it is clear. Now, let's talk about the byproducts now. The reverse cost method in case of byproducts. The reverse cost method in case of byproduct. See, the methodology will remain the same. You have the input, you have incurred some cost, right? Say 60,000 only, right? This is your split of point. From here, you will get 3 products, but in this case, you will get a main product M1, the byproduct B1, and byproduct B2, right? This is what you will be getting. Now the point here is how to distribute this 60,000 between this M1, B1 and B2 using the reverse cost method. Now in case of byproducts, when you have to use the reverse cost method, how to use it, listen to it very carefully. The first step is to consider this B1 and B2. Right? The first step is consider B1 and B2. Now sir, okay, considered. What to do with this consideration? B1 and B2 we have considered, sir. What is to be done with that consideration? Use the reverse cost method. Apply the reverse cost method as in case of apply the reverse cost method as in joint products, right? And calculate what? Calculate distributed joint cost. Distributed joint cost. So the first step in this case is consider B1, B2, apply this methodology. Apply this methodology to B1 and B2 only. That sales value minus profit, total cost, minus FPC, the distributed joint cost. Apply the reverse cost method only and only on the byproducts, not on the main product. Only and only on the byproducts. Apply the reverse cost method. Right? So after you get, now from here, what you will get from here is the distributed joint cost. Right? Distributed joint cost. What is meant by the distributed joint cost? That out of this total 60,000, what is the share of B1 and B2 in this? What you will get is the share of B1 and B2 in the 60,000. This is known as distributed joint cost of B1 and B2. Say this is 10,000 and this is 20,000, right? So this is the share of B1 and B2 in out of 60,000. Out of 60,000, B1 10,000, B2 20,000. This is what is known as, this thing is known as distributed joint cost. This is what I'm calling as distributed joint cost. The share of the byproducts in the total cost, right? Total joint cost. Now, if I subtract, now what I want to do is, I want to calculate the share of this product M1. I want to calculate the share of this product M1 in this 60,000. I have the share of B1 and B2, but now I want to calculate the share of M1. How can I calculate, sir? Out of the 60,000, from the 60,000, if I subtract 10,000 and 20,000, what is remaining? The remaining is the share of M1 only, right? So how to calculate the share of M1 in this? Total joint cost, that is 60,000, subtract share of B1, share of the byproduct 1, that is 10,000, minus the share of the byproduct 2, that is B2, that is 20,000. So what is remaining is 30,000. That is the share of M1 in total joint cost. Share of M1 in total joint cost. Right? So this 30,000 is the share of M1 in total joint cost. Right? So this is the total cost of M1. I can add the further processing cost here, say 5,000 rupees. Then I'll add profit here. If I want to identify the selling price, say 10,000 rupees, right? I want to identify the selling price of this main product. So the sales value will be 45,000. Clear? So this is how the reverse cost method is to be applied in case of byproducts. First, consider the byproducts B1 and B2. Apply the reverse cost method and get the distributed joint cost. That means the share of B1 and B2 in the total joint cost. Distributed joint cost means the share of B1 and B2 in the total joint cost. This is what you known as the distributed joint cost. Clear? Now, if out of the total joint cost, if you subtract the share of B1 and B2, what will be left is the share of M1 in the total cost. If out of 60,000, 10,000 is B1, 20,000 is B2, if I subtract these two, what will be left? The remaining 30,000 is obviously the share of the main product, that is M1. Clear? This is how the reverse cost method is to be used in case of byproducts. In joint products, there is no issue. In byproducts, the procedure is a bit lengthy, right? But not to worry much. Let's do a practical problem on this. Question number 7. X Limited manufactures product A which yields two byproducts B and C. in a period, the amount spent up to the point of separation was 20,600. So this is my joint cost. This is my joint cost. Subsequent expenses were material, ABC, direct wages, overheads are given, right? So A is a main product. This is a main product for you. This is a main product, product A, and product B and C, these are your byproducts, right? The subsequent expenses, this is your further processing cost that is given to you. Gross sales value of the product ABC was 15,000, 10,000 and 5,000. It was estimated that the profit as a percentage of sales in case of B and C will be 25% and 20% respectively. Ascertain the profit earned on A. Now what do you need? That what is the profit that we are earning on A? See, the sales value is given for all the products, but the profit percentage is given for B and C only. That is a byproduct, right? Now we have to solve it by the reverse cost method, where you have the profit percentage, where you have the sales value. The reverse cost method can only be applied in case you have the sales value of the products, in case you have the profit percentage on those products, right? In that case only you can apply the reverse cost method. Otherwise it is difficult to apply the reverse cost method, right? Because if the profit percentage is not there, how will you calculate the cost? If sales value is not there, then also how will you calculate it? So the reverse cost method can be applied if you have the sales value also, you have the profit also. Only then you will be able to apply this method. Now, in case of a byproduct, what is the first step? What is the first step is the computation of profit earned on A. How to calculate it? First, you will calculate the distributed joint cost of byproducts. Let's start. Let's start with question number 7. So the first thing that we need to do is, the first we will calculate distributed joint cost. I'll say distributed joint cost of B and C. That is the byproducts only. So I'll take the product B, I'll take the product C. First thing, sales value. The first thing that you need to take is sales value, that is given to you as 10,000 and 5,000. From sales value, you will subtract the profit, right? So the profit is 25% for B and 20% for C on sales value, right? So 25%, 2,500 you will subtract, and from here you will subtract 1,000, right? So what you will get is estimated total cost, estimated total cost, that is 7,500 and 4,000, right? From here, from total cost, what you will subtract? The further processing cost you will subtract, obviously sir. You will subtract minus the further processing cost, right? What is further processing cost for B and C? 770 and 630. So I will subtract 770 from here and I will subtract 630 from here. So what I will get is, from here, what I will get is the distributed joint cost, or share in joint cost means one and the same thing. Share in joint cost or the distributed joint cost, right? So it comes out to 6,730 and 3,370. What is the total joint cost? Out of this 20,600 joint cost, we have calculated the share of B and C, right? That is 6,730 and 3,370. Now we are going to calculate the computation of profit earned on A. Now we'll calculate the computation of profit earned on product A. Computation of profit earned on product A. Let's start. So first thing, what is the total joint cost? Total joint cost, that is 20,600. Subtract share of B. share of B, that is just calculated, that is 6,730. 6,730. Subtract share of C, that is 3,370. 3,370. So from here, what you will get is share of A in joint cost. Share of A in joint cost. This is what you will be getting. Right? That comes out to 10,500. Now, this is the cost. This is the share in the joint cost. I'll add further processing cost in this. I'll add further processing cost. For A, what is the further processing cost? 1,000. Right? 1,000 is the further processing cost. From here, what I will get is the estimated total cost. Estimated total cost, that is 11,500. Now, let's see in the question. The profit percentage is not given, but the sales value is given, that is 15,000. The sales value is given to you, right? So sales value is 15,000, right? That means the remaining part is your profit. This is your profit, that is balancing figure, right? 3,500. So this was the requirement of the question, to calculate the profit being earned on the product A. Right? This is how the reverse cost method is to be applied in the case of byproducts. Clear? First, you have to consider both the byproducts, calculate the share in the joint cost using the reverse cost method. Then the balance out of the total joint cost will be the share of the main product, that is A. Add further processing cost, add profit, you will get the sales value, or if you have the sales value, the balancing figure will be your profit, as in this case, right? So with this, guys, our chapter of joint and byproducts is over, right? Now what you have to do is practice the questions, practice. From the ICI module you can practice. You can join the ICI SM series on our Android mobile app, right, where we have covered each and every question in detail, right? In depth we have discussed each and every question, and we have discussed that how you can commit the silly mistakes and how to avoid those mistakes in the examination, what are the tricky points, how institute can trick you in the various questions. All these things have been discussed in the ICI SM series, which is available on our Android mobile app. And if you want to watch that series on the laptop, you can subscribe it from our website, that is www.kstteaching.org. All the links are given in the video description. You can follow us on Twitter as well as on Instagram. We keep on posting the important updates on both the platforms, right? So you can follow us there also. Please do check all the links, the Telegram links, the Insta handle link, everything is given in the video description. Do check it out, right? So with this, we are completing this chapter of joint and byproduct. And in the next lecture, we are starting with the new chapter, that is standard costing, one of the most important chapters. Standard costing, one of the most important and one of the most interesting chapters, I will say, that we are going to start with, right? So see you guys in the next lecture. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, keep studying, keep sharing. Thank you so much.